Knieheiser, founder of Beacon Rock Research for Mining Clips, and with me is Jim Gilbert, President and CEO of Firstpoint Minerals, that's FPX, on the Toronto Exchange. Jim, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
And what you have here is a nickel project and a new style of mineralization, but tell me, why nickel?
Well, Mike, the long-term supply-demand fundamentals for nickels are extremely, the nickel, the metal itself, although in disfavor today, are extremely compelling. The consensus forecasts are for significant deficits of both mine supply and refined nickel supply to begin to emerge in about 2018 and grow to a significant extent so that by 2025 you'd have 740,000 tons per annum of nickel shortfall in mine supply and 400,000 tons of refined nickel shortfall in supply by that time frame. So we think a very strong price response is in the offing to induce new sources of long-term supply to the nickel market, and we think that that's what we're on to here at Firstpoint.
And tell me about, this is a different style of mineralization with nickel. Tell me, what does that mean?
It is. It's neither sulphide nor a laterite. The mineral is called awaruite, and it's effectively a naturally occurring nickel-iron alloy, almost stainless steel in the ground. Okay, so it occurs in serpentinized peridotite under very specific low reduction type of conditions, and importantly contains no sulfur, either in the background rock or in the mineral itself. So awaruite itself is 75% nickel, 25% iron, no sulfur, so as you can imagine, a very significant environmental positive for exploiting these types of deposits, no acid mine drainage, for example.
So tell me, what's about the recovery? What's the process, and how is that different from other types of nickel operations?
Right. The mineral itself is highly magnetic and extremely dense. So the real advantage here, in addition to the environmental positives and occurrence at or near surface, so low strip ratio, is a flow sheet for recovery of the alloy that's extremely low risk, low tech. In other words, the flow sheet imagined to date is conventional magnetic separation, so a grind, magnetic separation followed by gravity concentration, conventional off-the-shelf technologies. There's no black box associated with this. So we think it puts exploitation of this type of mineralization into a totally different risk profile than, for example, the laterite types of deposits.
And what about size? Tell me about the project size, infrastructure, partners, neighbors.
Okay, yeah, importantly with a new type of mineralization like this, we do have a flagship project. It's called Decar. It's in north central BC. It's optioned to Cliffs Natural Resources, the New York Stock Exchange listed iron ore producer. It is at the PEA stage, so in 2013 Cliffs did put out positive PEA results. From an access and infrastructure perspective, the project has significant advantages. It's about 100 kilometers northwest of Fort St. James. Access to the property is by a mainline logging road, so a high-speed, well-maintained logging road right onto the property. There's a CN rail line that passes within 5 kilometers of the project area, so for transport of your ultimate product, there's very good advantages. 110 kilometers from connection to the power grid in BC with plenty of power available. So there are some real advantages to the location of this project, in addition to being, a low strip ratio and low tech, flow sheet to recover the mineral.
So the relations are with the First Nations?
Important in BC, and obviously we and Cliffs pay a lot of attention to this matter. We're dealing with a single band in the area of the Decar Project, the Clatston Band. So far, relations are good. Cliffs spends a lot of time and effort on that. We have an exploration memorandum of understanding in place with the band, which provides for training, employment where possible, and some financial contributions to projects in the community. So at the moment, I would characterize the relationship as constructive, and we'll do everything we can to maintain that relationship going forward.
So what should investors be looking out for this year? You say you're currently at the PEA stage?
Yeah, Cliffs has the right and has announced their intention to exercise the option to sole fund a preliminary feasibility study, a pre-feasibility study. So that'll be done by the end of 2015. So we're not spending any of our money on Decar. With that right, if they fund through the pre-feasibility study, they have the right to continue to fund through bankable feasibility study and earn up to an eventual 75% of the project. So we at Firstpoint would then be 25% participating interest plus a 1% NSR. So to look for in 2014, Cliffs will describe to us their program and budget for 2014 in pursuit of the pre-feasibility study. And the other piece of news that should come out in this year is some information, some primary research information on the market for this product, which is a nickel iron chromite project. It's a new product in the marketplace, but we have samples of concentrate in the hands of potential off-takers who are going to provide us some feedback on amenability of the material to processing in their facilities, as well as the commercial terms on which they might be, indicative commercial terms at this stage on which they might be willing to purchase the product. So those are the two main pieces of information on the Decar project. Beyond Decar, Firstpoint has a growing and advancing portfolio of 100% owned projects. These include primary target in the Yukon called Mich, which is at an early stage with the potential for a modest drilling program in 2014. We're evaluating that today. And we have two other projects at a similar stage in northern BC, slightly less priority, and of course in the cash conservation world, we're being very cautious about where we spend our money, but there should be news from our 100% owned properties as well in 2014.
Great. Well, we'll keep a lookout for that. Jim Gilbert, President and CEO of Firstpoint Minerals. That's FPX on the Toronto Exchange. Jim, thanks for joining me.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Thanks again.